Hello viewers, welcome to MBTV Weekly Property Roundup. We bring to you top 5 developments from the Indian real estate space which is going to have a lasting impact on you as a consumer. I am Prasun Kumar, Marketing Head of Magicbricks, and with me is Jayashree Kurup, Senior Real Estate Journalist and Editor-in-Chief of MBTV. So Jayashree, welcome again to the show.
Thanks, Prasun.
New government,
Yes.
Same minister,
Yes.
Continuity. Is industry going to buzz again?
I think it will. I think a lot of things have been corrected, and the policy is in a certain direction. Having the same minister, same government, I believe policy should go through to its logical conclusion.
Oh, wonderful. Good to hear that. So we are starting the new fiscal year with a new and a better note, I would say,
Yes.
right?
More optimistic.
More optimistic note. Good. So let's get into top 5 developments of last week per se. So the first one was NCDRC's ruling, which is the Apex Consumer Commission, which said that buyers will not lose money for cancellation of delayed flats. Right? Yeah. Now builders have been using various clauses in their agreement to either deduct a lot of amount from the money that has to be returned to buyers, and this is where NCDRC has come to the rescue. Yeah. Good move, right?
It's a very good move. If the developer has delayed for various reasons, I mean, I think in this case, the developers also saying there was a 2-year period where no building could happen because there was an NGT order. Despite that, it's not that the developer scrambled and delivered as soon as he could. So the NCDRC's thought process is that if the builder has delayed, why should the buyer be penalized for not paying at that time? Sure. There was a breakdown of a system, and that system's breakdown should impact both sides equally. I think it's a very good move.
Right, so to the rescue of buyers, but at the same point in time, builders have also been complaining that they have been not getting clearances on time, and that's also leading to delay and all. And I'm sure, is RERA an authority to step in there in a way? Not
yet, because the authorities are not answerable to RERA yet. However, many RERA authorities have been asking the authorities why there's a inordinate delay, because they're trying to streamline the process. Right. I think that's one of the things that I think, from the Modi government 1 to Modi government 2, what you would see is that some base ground rules have been set. Right. Now enforcing them and getting sure that the entire process kicks in is something that the government should be doing. Delayed approvals are the first point of delay, then of course change in policy like the NGT order, and then of course the builder themselves have been taking money out of the system. Yeah. That's not happening anymore, so I'm expecting that there will be more discipline in the building systems.
And court recently fixed kind of a tenure for a reasonable amount of delay.
Exactly.
Right? That's 1 year.
Yes. That is only for the extra long delayed period, no more than 1 more year. Okay. But instead of 4 years, they have been given 5 years to complete. So a reasonable period is a 5-year period for construction, and delay not more than 1 year.
And coming to Gurugram civic body is using vacant plots in private colonies for infrastructural projects, right? So there were a lot of private colonies developed by a lot of builders with a lot of vacant plots. Now to convert them into bus shelters and all, how good is that idea?
I am not sure, and there is in fact we have raised some of the issues that are coming. In the name of picking up plots, some of the green belts are being cut. We've raised the issue of Vita booths coming up in South City 1, in Sushant Lok, in other colonies across Gurgaon. If you have vacant plot which was not allocated for anything else, or which was allocated but not assigned for anything else, those plots repurposing them for other activities is fine. But what's happening is that in the garb of that, the developers who did not pay any money, they have colluded with some authorities and with people like Vita, and they have taken over green belts. Now that's a bad thing, and the residents are fighting that.
Right. I think whatever vacant plots are there should be used to plant trees. That's it.
Not really, Prasun. Trees can be planted on the sides of streets, but in any vacant plot, there are lots of activities that were not happening. For instance, I'll give you an example. The old master plan required you to leave space for dispensaries, for community centers, for post offices. These are large townships, right? Now these never evolved. So there's no reason why that should not become a small community center or something like that. Not only to plant trees.
No, true. To engage community, of
to
course.
engage the community. But I think the purpose is they need to repurpose that land, because do you need more post offices? You don't, right? So those are the things that, those are the lands that can be repurposed.
That was an environmentalist in my heart. But anyway, okay, so the next news came, from National Anti-Profiteering Agency, NAA, which is ruled that benefits from lower GST rate must be passed on to home buyers. Now we know that, developers are toying between two rates of GST, the old one and the new one, and that will decide, but are developers really up to, passing on the benefits to the buyers? Have we seen those evidences?
Some developers have passed on the entire. In fact, some of the people we spoke to in Bangalore, they told us that they are very happy that GST has come, because it's like something that you can tell the consumer, I'm giving it back to you. But a lot of developers have not passed on, or have passed on parts of it to the consumer. Now, if there is a GST input that they've received, the clear idea is that if they got the input, the consumer also deserves the input, and it is roughly about 5 to 6%. And if you give one,
that's huge given the cost of the.
That's huge. That's a big saving. But what's happening is only 1 to 2% gets passed on to the consumer in the garb of I've given you the. So the Anti-Profiteering Council is now saying actually, actually checking the paper trail to see how much they received and how much they're passing on. This again is something that the market has to find its own level, and I think it's good that this move is happening.
Okay. So the fourth important news came from Maharashtra, and I'm very happy to see this, that state government and agencies are using technology more and more to really help themselves. So here in case of Maharashtra, the state government is using drones to do aerial surveys of rural lands to kind of produce property cards. That's a wonderful use of technology.
It really is. It needs to be done in urban areas as well, but I think rural was easier because there's less, there's less occupancy there. And we started it, and especially in a place like Pune, the Gauthan areas are already in the PCMC, within the city limits. Okay. So it makes sense to first aerially survey them before they get overbuilt, and there's a lot of violation. Yes. I think this is a good move, and this will
also help stopping encroachments, right?
Stopping encroachments, helping city governments know how much property tax they should get. Yes. If somebody disputes that they haven't overbuilt, the proof is right there. Right. So this is a good move. Yeah. It's a good governance move.
Yeah, sure. It's summertime and it's fire time, and we have been receiving news of many fires happening, throughout the country. Unfortunately, lots of old constructions, definitely, but even the new ones do not have proper fire safety equipments and exits planned. And in Bengaluru, about 900 high rises have been found to be lacking fire exits. These are high rises, right? I mean,
you always think fire is something that will happen to someone else. Right. But what we've noticed now, in the case of the student housing, in the case of the Gurgaon building, the residential building, when somebody lost their lives. The thing is that fire can happen to anyone, anywhere, and through any means. And the National Building Code has made safety one of the prime objectives of development and planning. Now, there are some problems that have come. Buildings have got delayed. The rules have changed in the meantime. What was sanctioned was one fire exit. What is given now for occupancy, you need two fire exits. So plans have to be changed midstream. This is happening to a lot of Gurgaon buildings. Okay. But in buildings like Bangalore and so on, these are old buildings. Even if you have to retrofit it today, you have to find new planning norms. It's worth the effort, because otherwise human lives are lost.
That's true. That's true.
Prasun, one more thing I have to tell you, that they are also saying they don't have enough fire equipment. With so many high-rise buildings and 3 units of, the fire brigade that can actually handle more than 40 meters, that is something that also needs to be fixed.
True. And also, in case of fire equipments being installed also, one doesn't know how many of them actually are working condition, how many of them are maintained and are in proper working condition. That's so. I mean, a regular check. And I think the onus also lies on residents because it's their safety, so they also need to be participating in getting the equipment checked, etc. at an RWA level.
Some developers have started tying up with the fire brigade and saying that we will pay for these two engines, fire engines, so that in case of any fire, we will be safe. But that is still a long way away. I think we are still not reached that level of governance.
Sure. So viewers, that's it for this week. We'll come back again next week with top 5 developments from this week. Till then, keep watching MBTV.
Thank you and have a great week. Please subscribe to Magicbricks on YouTube and click the bell icon to get new videos.